This is Crimes of the Heart by Beth Henley. Crimes of the Heart is an American playwright published in 1982. It is a heartfelt, dark comedy about three sisters in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. Each sister goes through their own personal crisis, but end up coming together due to their younger sister Becky, also known as Babe, committing a crime. Meet the sisters. Lenny McGrath. Lenny is the oldest sister out of the three. She is a self-conscious woman who ends up staying in her childhood home taking care of her granddad. She is very family-oriented as she protects her sisters from any rumors done by the public. Then comes Margaret McGrath. Margaret, also known as Meg, is the middle child. She's 27 years old and she's moved to Hollywood to pursue her singing career, abandoning her lover, Doc Porter. Meg is a more outgoing sister out of the three. She doesn't care what anyone from her small town has to say about her or her family. Last but not least, Becky McGrath, also known as Babe, is 24 years old. She is the youngest McGrath sister. Becky is the reason for most of the play's tragedy. She is the fragile one out of the three, and is most like her mother who hung herself with her cat years before the action of the play. In the video you're about to see, Beth Henley talks about how she went from being an actress to becoming a playwriter.
Well, my mother was an actress in the community theater when I was growing up, and she took me to the theater with her when I was really little, and it was just so magical, and it was so different from the suburbs of Jackson, Mississippi. At the time I was living there, 60s, 50s. When I did act, and I did act in college, I was always wishing I weren't when that curtain rose. Like, why am I here? But I didn't think I was necessarily going to be smart enough to write. But I did take a playwriting course and wrote a play, and it seemed to go well, so then I got interested in writing. And I always loved reading plays. I remember one was I Am a Camera. And I remember thinking that the dialogue, because she was talking about, I just want to go and be a nun with birds, you know. I didn't get the ironic tone of it. And I thought it took it literally. And I said, this is not very good writing, you know. And I said, I could write something better than that. And my mother said, well, why don't you?
Beth Henley was born on May 8, 1952 in Jackson, Mississippi. Growing up, she would suffer from chronic asthma but would very much enjoy reading plays for entertainment. She ended up earning a BFA on acting at SMU and wrote her first play in 1972 called Am I Blue? Her most well-known play is, of course, Crimes of the Heart. Crimes of the Heart won many awards and was nominated for an Oscar. After that, it was set out on Broadway in November of 1981. Beth stopped writing after a while up until 6 years later, where she wrote The Jacksonian, where later set out on Broadway as well in 2013. During the time Crimes of the Heart was copyrighted in 1978, there were many historical events happening. At the beginning of the year, Air India Flight 855 Boeing 747 crashed into the sea, killing 213 people. It ended up crashing due to the instrument failure and pilot disorientation. On the 26th of August, Sigmund Jähn became the first German astronaut to board Soyuz 31. Then later on December 27, Spain became a democracy after 40 years of dictatorship. Crimes of the Heart is a character study of three sisters, each attempting to discover her own identity. They deal with family problems and individual challenges. The sisters were abandoned by their father and then abandoned again when their mother hung herself along with her cat. Lenny has sacrificed her life to take care of her grandfather who raised them. Her loneliness is deepened by her belief that she is undesirable because she cannot have babies. Meg, the totally self-centered middle sister, ran away to Hollywood but has since given up on her dream of becoming a star. They are reunited in Hazelhurst, Mississippi because the youngest sister, Babe, also known as Becky, has shot her husband and is facing trial. The sisters comfort their past in the ways that enable them to define their own identities as stronger, independent women. When their grandfather slips into a coma, Lenny finally realizes that she does not have to spend her life alone. Meg is out invited by the lover, Doc Porter, but when he does not beg her to run away with him, she realizes that she can love unconditionally. Babe brings understanding to the sisters and realization to herself. She shot her husband because he discovered her affair with the 15-year-old boy. Considering suicide, she realizes that she actually didn't want to die. She wanted her husband to die. She also realizes that her mother didn't want to die either, and that her mother killed the cat, not because she hated it, but because she was afraid to face death alone. As the play ends, the three sisters are, for the moment, laughing and enjoying each other's presence.